Right. Hi, everyone. My name's PK, and here I've got Shyam, who's a client of the Property Investment Accelerator. Shyam has bought 4 properties in basically 2 months or 2.5 months. He's going to teach us or educate us or share with us how he's done that through the course without needing any buyer's agents. He lives in Wagga with his family, his growing family, and he's bought properties literally in 3 or 4 different states across Australia, all the way from Perth all the way in Queensland without catching a single flight, without spending a single cent on a buyer's agent, and has already acquired or accrued, I should say. I'm putting words in his mouth here, but probably at least 50 to $150,000 of equity, literally just in the last few months. This next 10 minutes should be pretty insightful, enlightening, and inspiring, hopefully, for those of you who are listening and watching, wanting to become property investors, wanting to build a portfolio, and wanting to build passive income. So, Shyam, I'm very grateful that, of course, you joined the course, you got these results, but I'm also very grateful that you made the time for this. Thank you very much.
Thanks, PK.
So maybe just I'll go through your 3 or 4 deals and then we'll ask some questions. So I'm just going to read off my notes. I hope you guys don't mind. The first property is in South Australia. Purchase price was $278,000. So, for those of you who still think that even in the middle of a boom, you need $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, you just don't. The valuation based on comparables was $300,000, so more than $20,000 under market value. The yield is 6.1%. What that means is that it's positive cash flow. Whether he goes interest only or whether he goes principal and interest on the loan repayments, this property is not costing him a cent on a yearly basis. He actually bought this within 4 weeks of starting the Property Investment Accelerator. So really quick, rapid fire. The second property that he bought was $380,000. This was over in Perth. The desktop valuation was $410,000. So about $30,000, under the water or above the water or whatever. It's $30,000 in the green. The rent is $450 a week. Once again, positive cash flow in spades. The built year is 1997. So, good depreciation, really low maintenance, all good. So that's the second property in 2 months. The third property he bought in northern Queensland. I don't have those details with me. I'll ask you in a second, Shyam. But the fourth property, he only had less capital available for this one. So we're trying to optimize where he should buy. And basically, I didn't do anything. He did all the work. He bought a property for $218,000. Okay, $218,000. Don't think this is some, cheap property that needs $100,000 renovation in a crappy area mining town. It's not that. Okay, this is in a really upcoming, large town, large regional town in Victoria. The comparables were $240,000. So once again, $22,000 under market value. Rent is $340. Yes, it needs a renovation, but no more than maybe $5,000 or $10,000. It's already got new bathroom, kitchen, etc. Block size 654 square meters. So once again, we're not talking a 405-meter square block. This is big. So that was the fourth property, literally in 3 months. And the great thing about these properties, especially this fourth property, is to buy a $218,000 property with 10% deposit, which is what Shyam did. He got this deal done with less than $30,000 of his own money. So, if you only have $30,000, you can start your journey of passive income. You can start your journey of building a multiple property portfolio just like that. But that's a lot of talking, Shyam. I just want to come back to the third property that you bought in northern Queensland. What were the details of that one? Sorry.
PK, thank you. I think in the northern Queensland, when I bought it for 310, it is one of the sort of booming area, and the market is growing and heating up. I got that for a deal. As I said, it's 310, and the market's sitting at around 340, and the rental appraisal, like it's currently with the rental appraisal for 350 to 380. Okay. So definitely it's going to be positive cash flow for that one too.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I think, obviously congratulations goes without saying, but
Thanks,
I
PK.
think what you've done really, really well when I compare you to, all these other people that I see trying to buy properties all over Australia is you are just so laser focused. These days I've been talking a lot about how, when horses race, horse racing, the horses have these blinders on. So they're not distracted by other race horses. They're just looking at the finish line and they're getting over the line. So, that's what I feel that you've done. You've kind of stripped away all this noise, conflicting advice, opinion on different social platforms, friends and families. You followed the process, you followed my course, the data, and you've got the results. In a year's time, you'll have multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity, tens of thousands of dollars of passive income. Like you've just done everything right. So I think before I get into the questions, the first question that I'll ask is like, why did you do my course in the first instance? You're clearly very motivated, very hungry to succeed in investing. Why did you do my course?
PK, actually, I have been like, I've been sort of interested in real estate for a while and been doing a lot of research and not formal research. I've been, watching all the YouTube videos and reading different articles and the Facebook. And I can tell you, I spoke to nearly 10 to 15 real estate, or not real estate agents, I would say, buyers agents before I first bought my property through you. But, everything, I didn't feel confident through going through them because they don't give us enough information. They talk to us and get to a point and then ask for money. I didn't really sort of not confident putting money into. They don't share a lot of honest data, to be honest.
Mm.
No disrespect to them, but that's what I felt like. But honestly, then I came across, watched a couple of few videos, and then I thought, oh, okay, this looks interesting, and I started following you. Then at some point, then I decided, okay, then I think that's the way that I should do it. It's the way I more felt is, you teach us or taught me how to do or how to buy on my own. I am a sort of DIY person, do it yourself. I don't
Mm.
seeking a lot of help from others, and I think that's the way I thought would be better for me, because I've been interested, I've been sort of focused and motivated. Then I thought, I need some direction. I really got it from you, actually. Thanks, PK.
No, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. And I think that's one of the things probably that people are really hesitant about. They think that property investing is a big decision, which it is, laying out whether it's two, three, $400,000 is very important to get it right. But they're lacking confidence, and that's why I think that they sort of think that the DIY approach is like taking a huge gamble. They don't trust themselves, let alone someone else to teach them, right? It's a big sort of leap of faith. What would be your advice to them, or what is your thought process of how easy is it to do yourself? I mean, of course, without education, it's incredibly difficult, but my stance is with proven education, data,
Yeah.
process, systematic, structured approach. It's not difficult, but it's easy for me to say, what are your honest thoughts about that?
I my profession is entirely not related to building or real estate. I work in a very different industry. I work in the health industry, so it's all about education and learning, I believe. Even with the property and the marketing and buying, it's all like education. It's if you're educated, you can do anything. That's what I always believe, and I trust in it. So you so it if you really passionate, if you're putting your money into something, you need to know what you're doing with it, rather than be putting that responsibility to someone else. I always think, why can't I just do it? That's what I felt like, and that's what I decided to join your course. Then eventually that I've been able to do it. For my last four property, I didn't have to even bother anyone. I don't think I even called you once.
And just
So
just for everyone, I mean, I was answering some questions of Shyam's, but every 2 weeks he would, or maybe every 2 or 3 weeks, he would message me saying, "I bought another property. I bought another property." I feel that
yeah,
I didn't even do much. The course was kind of very self-explanatory, and maybe on that topic, I mean, you didn't perhaps use all the level of support that we offer. But,
Yeah.
for people who think that, look, PK's course, great, but I need handholding. I need support. I need someone to guide me through it. What would be your response to them? Do you think that if you needed that in the course, you would have got that in the future if you need it for your fifth, sixth, seventh property? Is it there?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I did bother you for the first property actually, or like then I had some silly questions. First one, it's always a little bit of not confident because I have never done that before. So I
Hmm.
had to bother you, and then the mentor group that we have is really helpful. Whatever, even if it is a silly question, I get a great answer. We got all the experts there, so that's really handy. And I did, I was a little bit, when I bought my first property, I was a little bit lack of confidence, but I did that, like, with your support for the first one. Then the last, second, and third and fourth, I really like texted you after I purchased it.
Yeah,
Then I got
exactly.
it. Go job.
No,
So that's
exactly. And I think that that's just so nice to hear because people are just there's a chronic lack of confidence. They think they just can't do this, but seriously, first property you'll need some hand holding. I'm always there for subsequent properties, but just like in your case, Sham,
mm,
second, third, fourth, you know how to fish. You're self-sufficient,
yeah,
you're self-reliant. You have all the tools for lifetime. Um, and just in terms of sort of the team aspect, property investing is a team sport. You could be the captain, but you can't be the wicket keeper, the bowler, the fielder, the slip, the coach, everything at the same time. So how did you find that the team that I provided you, conveyancer, mortgage broker, property managers, nationally, all these different, 5, 6 members of your team, did you find them to be useful? How did you interact with them? Were they actually worth it?
oh, definitely. They are super helpful. Actually, they did the job for me. I outsourced all the jobs to them, but we really have a very great team to help with anything. And even if it's sometimes even if it's a silly question, we've got answer. And the team that we have, they are super helpful. They are the people they like actually bought that for me for all
Yeah,
my
yeah.
property. They're really super helpful.
And it's no secret, like for anyone
No,
who's watching as well. So you're in Wagga, right? So you bought one in South Australia, you
yeah.
bought one in WA, one in Queensland, and one in Victoria.
Mm.
Right? So you never caught any flights. How did you do this? Property
Oh,
managers,
yeah.
right? Property managers, they did all
Not
the
during
inspections
COVID.
for you. They did all the local due diligence. We just found the suburb, found the property. They did everything we negotiated. So once again, like I feel that especially brand new investors, they have this hang up of, how am I going to buy it interstate? But I mean, was it easy?
Oh, it's quite easy. I have got all my 4 properties out of state. I haven't, it's all the areas that I didn't know before I bought this property. So that's really, it's if we can easily do it. It's not a big deal at all because all these 4 areas, I have never been to any of these places. To be honest, I've been to the major cities, but I have never traveled or visited or any of these places in my life. So it's easy, super helpful, like with the support from the team that we can do it easily. Then I'm a very like example that I did 4 properties in very short duration, and it did work, and everything, all of them are super positive cash flow, and it's gonna be we definitely can do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've never been to many of those locations as well. Sometimes I talk about a location that
Mm.
comes up in the data and we build our confidence to invest there and I'm pronouncing it wrong. Like initially,
Yeah,
even with Wagga, I think I used to pronounce it as Wagga Wagga. But people were like,
yeah,
how can we trust you to like invest
that's
in a
right.
location you can't even pronounce? I'm like, I don't care if I can't pronounce it. The data
Yeah,
is black and white, and
that's
you can see how Wagga's perform.
all
We
of
were investing there
that.
for a long time. So that's really good to hear. And maybe just one or two last questions. It's good that you have this knowledge. It's good that you've been able to achieve these results. But for you to truly be self-sufficient and self-reliant forever without ever needing a buyer's agent, you need this knowledge and these skills to be sustainable. Do you think that what you've learned is going to stand the test of time, the principles, the fundamentals, the technical aspects, the data, the interpretation, is that going to be valid in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Do you feel like you've learned a skill that is yours for life?
I'm 100% sure it's going to be forever. It's like, learning swimming or cycling. We're never going to forget. So I feel like the skills that I have now, it's going to be there forever, and we have to brush it up. But it's all going to be there forever, and I'm going to use that forever. I'm not going to let it go.
Yeah, I can sense it. We were talking before we hit record that you're so enthusiastic about property, and that's how I used to be, or I still am. But after I bought my first property, you kind of get addicted to it. You get addicted to the high of settling and getting that first tenant, and the money comes in the bank. It's so fun. Yeah, satisfying.
I think that
Exactly.
journey and the hunting is so satisfying. It's all like the results so great. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
great.
And I mean, you're growing a family. You've just had another child, which is fantastic. Just to give people an idea, was buying these 4 properties in the last couple of months or so, was it a real impost on your time? Did you have to take annual leave? Did you have to give up huge chunks of time with your wife or your family? Like, or because that's kind of a big concern. Is this going to be too much time consuming? How did you manage that? How much time did you put in? Was it easy?
It was easy. Like, it's all, I work full time, and my wife worked like pretty much full time, and we've got a baby and a new one now. So I got a pretty busy work life, but I did have time like to do it when it's all, you don't need, like, I didn't have to take annual leave. I work, I spend more time at work than at home. That's what my wife say anyway. So it's super easy. If you're dedicated, if you want to do it, you can do it. I haven't had to, take long leave or stuff like that to do all this stuff, but it all, it's never the biggest chunk of my time to do it. So if you're interested, if you want dedicated, you definitely can do it.
Yeah,
And I did it.
yeah. Yeah, you did. I mean, it sounds too good to be true. Maybe last question for people who are sort of thinking, look, and I get this a lot. My team and I, we do what we call strategy calls. When people have followed us for a while, they want to do the course, they book a call, and they ask us questions, we ask them questions. And a common question that we get asked is, PK, this sounds too good to be true. Like, no one else is teaching this in Australia. It's a clear alternative to using a buyer's agent. It's cheaper, you get better results. What's the catch? Like, that there must be something wrong with it. What would you say to people who are kind of on the fence of doing the property investment accelerator, and are lacking confidence in their own ability, or they're thinking that it's going to be too difficult, or they're thinking it's too basic? This is just an amalgamation of a whole bunch of YouTube videos into a course that sells for over $5,000. Like, what would you say to those people who think it's too hard, too difficult, not really worth it?
I would say I already, like, yes, like, I already recommended a couple of my friends to do it, because it's all, I feel like it's worth every cent we pay for. And the knowledge and skills, it's all sort of lifelong knowledge that we gain. And you can buy property anywhere in Australia using the correct data, and using the scientific or correct data techniques. And it's all about buying and keeping, all the strategies that you go through, or you taught us. It's really super helpful. I don't think I wouldn't say anyone that it's too difficult. It's easy. It's easy to buy property, and it's the only thing you need to start. That's where I had issues with. So I was sort of, it took a lot of time for me to, like, thinking what to do, what's next. And before starting this course, then all of a sudden I started, and in 3-4 weeks, I think that's where I bought my first property. That's when we get that idea of how to and where to go, we will get there. And anyone can do it.
Yeah. No, 100%, 100%. And once again, congratulations, because, although we flippantly say that you bought 4 properties in 3 months and they're positive cash flow, high growth, bought under market value, actually, most property investors, maybe more than 95%, don't achieve this. So genuinely, I mean, for anyone who's watching as well, I don't do the work. I simply teach, how to fish, and I'm there helping you, sort of hold the fishing rod, so to speak. But Shyam has done the work entirely by himself. So, big congratulations.
Thanks, PK.
And just lastly, guys, if you got value out of this, please let us know. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, subscribe, leave comments below if you have questions for either Shyam or myself. I'll more than happy, I should say, to answer them. And I'll also leave links below to my podcast, to the Facebook community, and also to the website. But follow me, gain your trust, build your trust. I think Shyam heard about me the day before he bought the course. Maybe that's a little bit atypical. Follow me for a little while, build your trust, and see if you vibe with me, so if we're on the same frequency. And I'm not making this up. Like, you can actually get these same results as Shyam. He didn't come into this with $1 million in the bank. No, none of us do, right? We all have hard-earned money that we want to put in towards our financial future, and that's exactly what Shyam did. So once again, Shyam, congratulations. Anything else lastly that you'd like to share or say?
No, I think anyone like sort of thinking about or been thinking for a while like what to do or whether you should do it, just do it. And I from my experience, I would say the more you do it, you get that outcome or you get that results, and it's really super helpful through your course. And it's easy, simple. Each steps or each step that you described in that course really super helpful. As we said earlier, that mild sort of renovation that I needed to do that for my fourth property. That's all you discussed. And I didn't have to do, if I got any doubts, I go back to the course and I'll just read through that material or go watch the video, and then I get that trick, and you there to answer any of my questions if I need to. So that's really super helpful through my journey, and it's really I really thank you, and we're really grateful for your help through this course. Thank you, PK.
No worries, and thank you as well for referring your friends. I mean, referrals are really the lifeblood of any business, and mine's no different. And for anyone who's watching as well, there's about 50 of these videos on a YouTube playlist. So, go through them, go through and understand my clients' backgrounds, what they're saying, and they're just normal people like you and me as well. So, that really helps in building confidence that you too can do this. So once again, Shyam, thank you so much. And yeah, take care, everyone. Catch you later. Bye.